Hey everyone, welcome back to the I'm Just a Journalist podcast. My name is Drew Berg. I am a broadcast journalism student here at Minnesota State Moorhead, and I am also a weekend intern at WDAY, the ABC station in town, just doing kind of regular TV reporting. This is kind of a podcast where typically I like to talk about a lot of things maybe affecting the world of media, news. I've talked about sports media, but today I wanted to try something a little bit different, a little bit more personal, maybe a little bit more fun. So today I'm going to talk about life as a senior college student, because that's where I'm at, and I thought that there would be no better guest for the topic than my beautiful girlfriend, Jamie. She's also a senior college student, so we thought we'd just kind of talk about what it's like to be kind of in our final year of college. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Staying busy as always. But I'm a senior here at Minnesota State Moorhead, and I'm a digital media management major with a minor in business. And I'm also the student photographer for our marketing department on campus. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm also staying plenty busy with work stuff, and classes are luckily winding down here kind of in the final week. One final push, I think, is really the main thing to worry about there. And then Christmas break, which should be kind of nice to kind of have a little bit something different. But yeah, so we are almost at the end of our second to last semester here in college. And knowing that kind of the end is, 5 or so months away, how does it feel to be kind of right here at the end?
I'm excited to wrap up this semester and start fresh in the spring, but I don't know, a little nervous to graduate. I'm excited to be done with school, but I don't know. It's kind of nerve-wracking to know what's in the future and that I'm probably going to be done with school for forever afterwards. So just trying to look ahead and see what's coming up in the future. So
I don't know. It's a little weird kind of to be here towards the end, or almost kind of at the end, to know how much fun I've had over the past 3.5 years living in this kind of community environment where there's been so much to do that I've tried to take advantage of. But it's a little weird now knowing that it'll be into adulting, real adulting, and like full-time job and stuff like that, which obviously I got a little taste of this summer working full-time at DAY. But it's a little weird, that's for sure. Got a few classes to kind of push through here at the end, but then who knows? I guess what happens, we'll have to kind of figure that out together, I guess, which will be an interesting fact, so we'll see where we end up. But so kind of tell me about your plans for at least kind of this last semester. You doing anything different to kind of finish out your college life, or what's going to be going on?
I'm going to continue being the photographer for the marketing department, but I'm going to turn it into an internship for credit, and luckily I still get paid to do it, so I'm very grateful for that. But just going to get some credit for it, maybe do a couple extra things before I wrap up my college career. But one thing that has definitely changed is I was a CMU building manager for the past 3.5 years. But I'm no longer going to be this upcoming semester just because life has gotten really busy and I want to focus on what I could actually potentially do in the future. But just focusing on wrapping up some classes and gonna stay busy, but hopefully it'll be a little more chill than this semester was. So how are you gonna wrap things up?
I don't know if I'm doing a whole lot different. My class schedule is pretty should hopefully be easy, easier than what I did this semester. Also, I've had a heavy work schedule where I had class every day, Monday through Thursday, and having to work on the weekends after that was obviously kind of just a really tough thing. So now that I have more online classes, I'll have kind of 2 days off a week on non-campus news weeks, and that should hopefully be really nice. Thinking about the adulting part of it, having a day to do laundry and grocery shopping that isn't, necessarily thinking about me having to do it right after work or after a class, something like that. Should be really nice and hopefully open up my schedule a little bit more to relax and do the fun stuff. I'm hoping to maybe be, I don't want to say more active on campus, because I'm not necessarily sure if that's going to be the case, but maybe catching a basketball game, because knowing that it is the our last semester could be something that's fun, or doing some more on campus things, Dragon Frost or stuff like that, kind of those big events. I think would be a useful way to manage my time, or useful things for me to do to kind of connect with a lot of the people that I've met through jobs. And get those last times to hang out, because at the end of this week it's commencement, and there's a decent chunk of people that I know that we came into school with here at MSUM that are going to be graduating. So that's already interesting. I've had a few friends graduate, and now there's going to be another huge chunk, and then obviously it's going to be us next. But I think I'll maybe try to relax a little bit more. I don't want to coast necessarily, academically by any means, but I think giving myself a little bit more mental time. Hopefully we can get that done. But so now that we're kind of wrapping up college, I know that I've done a lot of stuff in college. I know that you've worked a few jobs and done plenty of things. So if you had to choose something right now, is there like a moment or a memory or something that you have throughout college that you're like, oh, I'm going to remember this, or oh, this is like just something that was like, oh, this is, a peak college moment right here?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I have a couple. Obviously, I've worked some on-campus jobs, and those have been really fun, and I've met a lot of people, especially being CMU building manager. I connect with a lot of people on campus as a whole who have events in the building, but I've made a lot of friends from like my coworkers, and connected with my supervisors over there, but it's been a different move to be in the marketing department and the photographer. I'm more kind of solo and not really a team environment as much, but those definitely stick out to me as probably my most significant memories, especially because the photographer thing could be a future job one day, so I'm obviously going to remember my first job, and obviously meeting you is probably another very significant memory. But yeah, if we're talking more college life than probably just my on-campus jobs. But what about you?
I would definitely agree when it comes to on-campus jobs. Again, you know this, but I've been ambassador giving tours, so it's been kind of fun to see, a handful of students that I can remember, hey, I toured you as an ambassador and now you're on campus, so it's kind of cool to know that I've maybe played a factor in them choosing MSUM. I've done a little bit of stuff, working athletics with the GO team. That's been really fun. Just kind of a chance to do more sports stuff, which is obviously something I really want to get into. Housing was great. I had a lot of fun doing it when I did it, because with how big housing staff is, there's like 45 new friends that you honestly get to have every year, and even year over year there's probably 15 to 20 that change, so there's even more. So even in just the 2 years that I did that, was really fun to kind of be able to be a leader for freshmen, specifically in my case, but I think that was really fun. But I would have to say, regardless of the several jobs that I've worked here on campus, The biggest kind of role that I think I've played that I got the most memories from is working for our campus news program, which, you know, we're in the campus news editing room right now. A lot of the awards that they've been able to take home in the past. But I think that's been kind of my favorite part, you know, really getting to know some teachers, just because these classes aren't necessarily normal classes. There's a lot of extra time that gets spent with them, so that was always fun. And then just a lot of very close friends that I've been able to make, and these aren't like that I've had with, you know, multiple classes with, that I, you know, will hang out with them outside of school and anything like that. You know, people that I really think I'm gonna be friends with for a really, really long time. And I think that's kind of the biggest, you know, it's really hard to choose a specific memory. I think one that I think of with Campus News is covering NDSU Bison Football Pro Day. What was it, last year? And just the chance to do that. I mean, I always joke that was my first time interviewing like an NFL player, because I got to be a part of a press conference with Gray Zabel, who now plays with the Seahawks and is doing a pretty good job right now. Sure, I didn't ask a question in that entire press conference, but I was there and it felt kind of fun. So that was definitely probably my favorite story that I've gotten to cover, and I think it was one of the better stories I ever covered. But I don't know, there's been a lot of stuff with that, and again, whether it's Campus News or housing or ambassador, worked as a, you know, helped with student orientation, had a blast doing that. The couple of years I did that, I think it would be really hard to choose just one main college moment. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I'm very appreciative of when I met you as well, but I think it's kind of hard to choose. But yeah, what else could we bug each other about relating to our, what do the people want to know? What do you guys want to know about our college journeys? I'll say this. I know it's kind of hard, and you mentioned it, but past kind of these next 5 months, what are you thinking after we walk across that stage for commencement?
Well, I've started to think about it more as this semester wraps up, thinking that, you know, I might need a plan. I kind of want to continue the whole photography thing, potentially working for another company doing their photography, because I'm not 100% sure if I would want to start my own business or not, because I know it's a different type of environment if you're working for yourself or if you're working under someone else. I'm also interested in like the social media side, like just overall of things. So maybe getting a job with something like that to start out with, but gotta reach out to some people first and make some connections. So, but that's what I plan to do within the next couple months, I would say, is reach out to some people and start coming up with a plan. So, what about you?
I am also in kind of that thinking part of the whole stage. I think it's had a lot of fun at DAY for sure as an intern, but we're still kind of figuring out if that's the path I really want to take. And kind of the TV world, I've obviously will hopefully have a broadcast journalism degree, multimedia, so I've gotten a chance to work with, you know, the Forum doing sports writing, and I actually enjoy that a ton. So I think I'm pretty set I want to stay somewhere related to journalism. There is a tiny part of me that's like, you know, indirectly involved with journalism, as in kind of more like communications for a company. I've thought, you know, the highest tier of something that I've been like, oh, that could be really cool, would be like a sports information director, kind of, you know, controlling media for a college, I think would be something that I might really be interested in doing. But that one, takes a little more education and a few other things. There's also obviously less of those jobs available. So I think it's just kind of figuring out, like, do I want to do journalism, which, you know, is really fun getting to meet a lot of people, but can be a little all over the place schedule-wise, hour-wise, stuff like that? Or do I want to do like a comms person where it's definitely more like basic, I feel like is the word maybe I'd use, where it's just kind of like, you know, it's a lot more of the 9 to 5 regular kind of day. Do I want to do sports? Do I not want to do sports? I think that's just kind of, you know, but just like you, starting to make calls and having conversations over the next few months, I think we'll hopefully figure that out. But obviously, you know this. Hopefully you guys can pick up on this with the entire premise of this podcast. Being about journalism, obviously, I really have a passion for it. So I think that would be an area that I think somewhere related to that, whether I'm a journalist myself or a position working with journalists, I think no matter what I want it to be in the world of media, I'm definitely not, you know, at this point regretting my major or anything. But so yeah, I think I've been lucky enough that I kind of been able to stay on this path. But you actually are someone who had a bit more of an indirect path to kind of how you got here. So take us through kind of how you ended up where you are in college.
Yes, well, so when I came here as a freshman, I came in as an accounting major, and that lasted for about a year. I remember taking the first accounting class my spring semester of my freshman year, and I ended up getting a C. I won't be afraid to say that. I got a C, and I was like, I'm not sure if that's going to be good enough. So I thought about it a little harder, and I still ended up taking the next accounting class, but I ended also with a C in there, and I ultimately decided to switch my major to business administration. That lasted for about a semester, and then I realized that I didn't really want to be in the business world all that much, so I switched to the comm department with digital media management, and I still kept my minor in business just so I can have that background, and I only needed a couple extra classes since they kind of go hand in hand there. But no, so ultimately switched my major to digital media management about 2 years in, so I'm lucky that I'm still gonna graduate on time, if you want to call it that, in 4 years, just because classes transferred over pretty easily. But no, it's been a time, but I definitely feel like I'm in the right area now, so that's good.
Yeah, it's good you ended up there. Took a little bit more of a roundabout way than maybe some people do, but it's good you ended up here. And again, we were able to, lucky enough that me with my double major, triple minor, honors, hopefully degree, I'm going to graduate in 4 years, even though I maybe could have been gone a year early if I had done significantly less with it. And then for you to be able to go through all that and be on time, worked out. But yeah, so now we're kind of wrapping her up, and we're just about done with college, and that's kind of a crazy thing to think about. But luckily, we got 5 months 5 months that are gonna fly by, I'm sure. Pretty much one of those months is the winter break.
Yeah, and the semester is shorter in the spring, so it's definitely gonna just creep up on us.
But yeah, so I think that's going to be everything that we'll talk about today. I think anything else, we'd just be kind of mindlessly rambling. And even though we could do that for hours, it seems, for the sake of this podcast, we'll probably cap it off there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the, more personal look into, me. Hopefully you've been able to see the other podcasts where I do talk a lot more about journalism stuff and media as a whole. Just released one on sports media not too long ago that hopefully you guys can go check out. But again, I just hope you liked the chance at something a little bit different, something a little more fun to mix it up here. But that should be everything we have for this peek into life as a senior college student. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and thank you so much for checking it out, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.